Hi there. You might be wondering, how do you print colorized messages on the Linux command line? You've seen this happening a lot of times. If you ever seen Linux booting up in the command line these days, a couple of the mainstream distributions, namely Red Hat Linux and many others which use systemd these days, they print messages with the OK and failed with different colors during service initialization. You'll also see ls command printing output in color format by default in many distributions, but you can always use the command, let's say ls ---- color, and can try /etc to test it out, and you can see colorized output here. So what if I want to print messages like these of my own with different colors? How do you do that? So in this video we'll just visit that. Well, it's pretty straightforward and simple. You just need to remember a couple of escape codes for setting up terminal settings, and one of the escape codes for changing the foreground and background color for the terminal. And how do you do that? Here's an example which I'm going to show you. When I say echo and then try hello world, you just print it normally. But maybe I want to print this word world in a different color. So if you want to do that, you can actually repeat this command. And here's what I do. Okay, I'll just type it out from scratch. I'll just say echo. I'm just going to say hello this time. Now, here's a trick. You can say Control V for verbose, right? Just press the Control V once and you get a special sequence there, right? And press escape. When you say Control V and I press escape, and when I press Control V escape, the escape character, remember the escape key on the keyboard generates a particular ASCII character, ASCII value, which is ASCII value 27. It actually prints a raw escape character without treating it any specially, right? So it does not treat it any special. It prints a raw character here, after which you can open a square bracket one more time, and you can actually type something like, say, 0 semicolon 31M, for instance. So this sequence that you see here will change the foreground color, and 31 actually selects foreground color as red. And I can just type world. To reset this terminal back to the original settings, or basically turn off all kinds of colorization, you could actually use Control V, press escape one more time, and then press open square bracket, say 0M, and close quotes. I just showed you very slowly how do you do this, right? You start an escape sequence by Control V escape character, then open square bracket, specify the color sequence that you want to change to, followed by the sentence or word or the phrase, and followed by the reset command, escape character for reset command here, right? So I could try different combinations in here, but this time it's quite cumbersome to use Control V escape and manage things, right? So there's another way to do this. You can also use echo -e switch. The -e switch will evaluate \escape sequences like the C printf function. So you could do things like echo -e and say hello /n world. I guess you know what it is. /n is new line character, so it prints hello followed by new line. But there's another escape sequence that you can use here. Is you can say hello followed by space /033. This is the octal notation of the ASCII value for escape character. The ASCII value for escape character is 27 in decimal. In octal notation is 033. So followed by that, you can just use square bracket, open square bracket, 0 semicolon 31M, followed by world. Again, you can say /033, open square bracket, 0M to reset the color. And this can be quite convenient to do. You can actually use a lot of combinations of colors. Here's another example I can try. I can say echo -e, and I'm going to use different words in different colors this time. So let me start off with /033, and I'll use a word. So 033, open square bracket, 0 semicolon 32M this time, followed by the word this, then maybe a space, followed by 033, \escape 033, followed by open square bracket, 0 semicolon 33M, followed by is. Again, I'm going to use the same sequence one more time. You can see me typing it on the terminal. But just you can see that I'm changing the numbers here. I'm using 32M, 33M, followed by, this time I'm going to use 34M. $35M, and say next. To end it all, I'm just going to use 033, open square bracket, 0M to reset everything at the end. And you can see that different colors are printed. You can see 32 represents green. We saw 31 represents red. 32 is for green. 33 for yellow that you see here, and blue is 34. 34. That character A is prefixed with 34M. So this comes up with blue color, and you can see this comes up with a pinkish color that you see here. In fact, the color names might be more accurate when I show you the table. How do you get these details? Well, remembering these numbers are quite cumbersome, and typing this out manually is also quite cumbersome. There are two tricks I'm going to show you. First, if you want to know what each number represents, what kind of color combination it represents, there's a place to look it up. If at all, if you use your favorite web browser, you can open up your web browser, go to your favorite search engine, and then you can search for bash prompt how to. When you go to this, when you do a search for bash prompt how to, you can see the first link. You can see tldp.org/how2/bash-prompt-how-to. You can try clicking on this link. When I tried out on my site, I think for some reason the route to this mirror is down. Looks like issue with my ISP. It's not loading. So I need to look up some mirror sites for this. So it looks like I live in India, and I have a really bad ISP who filters all kinds of DNS servers. GeoFiber? Yes, that's what it is. Anyways, I'll try looking up another link. Yeah, I can find linuxhowtos.org. Looks like there's a mirror. I'm just going to select this time. Ideally, tldp.org should work, and TLDP stands for the Linux Documentation Project. For those of you who are new to Linux and you want to learn more of the command line features and so on, there's some old school docs that you find. It's really relevant even now. There are a lot of command line related documents that are there. You can look it up in that site. The mirror site is for that is here, linuxhowtos.org. I selected this bash prompt how to. This how to document will tell you how to configure your bash prompt, your bash shell prompt. The PS1 variable can be configured to customize the way you want. And one section in here talks about the ANSI escape sequences, colors, and cursor movement. So you want to look up the colors first. That's what we are interested in. By actually using the ANSI escape sequence, you can actually position the cursor anywhere in the screen. You can do all this kind of stuff. So here's where the example is being provided. You can see that backslash escape 033, 34M, followed by whatever date, maybe the date command and so on. And the color example, table is being provided in here. As a side note, I have collected a script. This is not written by me. A quick disclaimer: the script is actually available from a project which is called as bash git prompt plugin. So there is a project which is mostly to change your bash prompt to look differently, stylized when you use a Git repository, when you switch to a Git repository. So we just search for bash git prompt project. Let's say I just stole this particular script from this particular project. So I just found it from this particular project. So I've just taken it here, but I'm just going to share the link to this particular script alone. You can simply source this shell script. I'm going to tell you how to do that. So I'm going to share this link in the description. So you can just watch out for this link in the description. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to type that link right here. So all I will do is I'm just going to say wget. You can use wget or you can use curl if you're on the Linux command line, or if you're comfortable, you can actually download from the web browser, save it in a particular place, and source it. So I'm going to do it fully in the command line. So I can just say wget my website / colors.sh. When I do that, it just tries to download it, store it locally. So if you just to verify, if you just do a cat colors.sh, you could see this shell script. You can just source this. This shell script actually provides convenient names, variable names for all the commonly used escape sequences. So I'm going to use a table in here where I've kept aside. I'm just going to put this across. I will use this screen size, so we can keep this on the side like a reference. And I'm going to just source the shell script here. I'm going to say source colors.sh. I'm also using the Z shell. I guess this shell script is not using any specific to bash, so it should work on Z shell or it should also work on bash, right? Whichever modern shell that you're using. Yeah, by the way, if you're using PCSH, you need to know that export command might not work in there. if you use TCSH. So TCSH users, you need to customize it. You might need to use the set command instead if you want to, right? Make the customizations if necessary. This will work perfectly fine for bash shell. So you can just do a source colors.sh in here, and after which I can actually use simpler semantics. I can say echo within double quoted strings. You can actually say dollar open curly brace, and I can just try black. Red. Let's try red. Okay, this red is, you can see this. Red is nothing but this combination. I'll just gonna say this dollar open curly brace. I want to print the word is in yellow color, so I'll just select yellow. And I can say dollar curly braces. Actually, what I thought is pink. It looks like pink for me, so it's purple, right? Yeah. Call me colorblind. So yeah, so you can just name the color the way you want. So purple, dollar, and maybe I'll use cyan this time. And maybe let's try blue. That's I can use nice names like this. I can use convenient names like this. And finally, I can just type dollar, the first thing that you see there, color off. Wow. You can use this kind of combination in your shell scripts, right? So it's very convenient. Just source the script, and in a shell script, you can have colorized messages. Remember, it did not have to be a, if it's a shell script, you can use this kind of technique, but maybe you don't want it in a shell script. Then if you want it in a text file, you can store it in a text file. You can actually do this. You can say greater than and test.testfile.txt. I'm just going to redirect it to a file. This is a normal text file. Shows up colorized text, right? You can have a normal .txt file having colorized text this way. Bonus points. It's not just a feature that's available at the shell prompt or within a shell script. If you are a person who's programming in Python or Perl, you could get the same benefit on the command line. So let's say you are writing a Python program, and within a Python script, you want to print a message with all these colorized messages. Sadly, you might need to create a Python equivalent of this. I will leave that as an exercise for you. You know what? If you know about a little bit more of shell scripting or maybe a little bit of awk, you could actually transform this to a Python script, a Python program that can be imported like a module if you prefer, right? But in this case, in Python, you can actually use just a print, and you could use backslash 033. You need to use this manually in this case. Use this like a reference. So I want to print some message. Let's say I want to print the word this in red, let's say. So yeah, I'll just use open square bracket 0 semicolon 31M. I'll use the word this backslash 033 open square bracket 0 semicolon 32M. I'll just say is backslash 033. Let's try something different. This time I'm going to use some background color changes. If you want to change the background color, you can actually use this combination. We can actually say 033. I will use just 40. Maybe we'll change the background to red. 41M, and a test backslash 033 open square bracket. I'll use 0M this time. Yep. You can print messages in color even in Python. You can change the foreground color, background color, use underlines. Of course, your terminal should support all the semantics. So if you don't have a proper color terminal, so all these features would be supported. And yes, this is language agnostic feature, which should work on almost all Linux terminals which supports color, right? So you can actually use this technique. Yes, if you're going to be using Python and so on, you could actually adapt the script, convert the script to a Python .py file, which can be imported. So you can actually do that. It's not very difficult. It looks like most of these are like variables, right? I don't think you need to make any much of changes in here. Apart from the export semantics, everything else is like variables equal to value. You could use the same technique, use it in Python. You could do that. Just make sure that everything is in, yeah, it doesn't matter. I think single quotes or double quotes will still work in Python, right? Okay. So you can also do it in Perl, any language of a choice, even in Java, C, anything that works on command line, right? So now that I told you how you can change colors, you can experiment with it. And yeah, if you like this kind of videos, do let me know. I'm just making also videos on programming in Python and Perl. On the sidelines, I will also be covering Linux command line. In the long run, I will also be covering features related to Linux kernel. Right. Thank you very much. So hope to meet you in future videos. Thank you.